Hey, day 47, and hadn't had too much to video the last couple nights, just piddling with some little stuff. But today, and I don't have a lot of time tonight, unfortunately, but today I got a little bit of this going on. I am taking things out of the old cab, and the focus for the next day or two needs to be the clutch pedal assembly and the brake pedal assembly. I've got it out. I got the old column out too, which is really short of a column I have in a cab for like a 76 Outback. That's pretty much the only column I have. And it is pretty rough at the end. The bearing's shot down here. I don't know what it takes to rebuild these things. I'm not against using this column at all. Pop that shifter out, because this truck was through in the tree, and I'd be fine with it. I might even be able to clean up that steering wheel a little bit, which I like these steering wheels. I don't know why, but I do. So I got that out. I got the pedal assembly out. Obviously, this truck had a manual linkage clutch. The current truck has that. So what I need to do is set this assembly in to the truck. It'll bolt up, and kind of see where the placement of this arm is going to be, and see if there's any way that I can mod this setup to work. If I can't, then I have to go on the hunt for a pedal assembly from a 92-ish F1 to 350 with a manual. So, I mean, either that or I order some kind of aftermarket pedal, like a Willwood or something like that. So I got a couple options, but I need to do the quickest option. So that's what we're going to do. This is actually one that came with the other cab, but unfortunately, automatic. Looks like the mount assembly is the same, just different shaft and pedals that come through, because the clutch pedal, as you can see, goes up, attaches there, but it's got a shaft that goes through, comes out to the mechanical linkage that used to go down through the floor. There's a nice little hole right in there that would go through the floor, which came out, went to like a pivot mechanism that was mounted on the frame. Oh, how things used to be so simple. So, and actually this setup is simple too. So I just got to get the pedal that'll work to push that rod. If I can get this in there and get that set up to where I can put some kind of bracket on that clutch arm that will push that rod, I'm golden. That's all I need to do. Push the rod. So now you see what my next couple of nights entails. I've got to get this done because I have to get that figured out, and I have to get the brake lines run. So I'm going to grab that mechanism, get it up in here, and we're going to see if we can make something work with this firewall. Hey y'all, good news. Today is the real day 47. Last night's video, I said 47, it should have been 46. So hey, I get an extra day. What do you know? Yeah, it doesn't work like that, I don't think. Anyway, I'm at day 47. It's the weekend. It's Saturday morning. And this weekend, I need to focus on steering, clutch, and brakes. That's where my focus needs to be. With those components, we're pretty much starting in this one area. So, steering, this truck had a manual gearbox, and I would love to keep it, but it seems pretty rough and pretty worn. So I'm going to go with the steering gearbox out of the 78. From what I can see online, it should work. It should bolt up. and we should be good to go. Now, as you all know, when you start mashing together trucks and using parts trucks from different years and this and that, it's all trial and error. And hopefully we'll have a lot of trial and not much error this weekend, because this really needs to get moving. I don't feel like I'm where I need to be at day 47, but if I could get through this weekend with some positive things, then maybe that'll help me in my mind as far as where I need to be. So I'm going to work on getting this clutch master cylinder, figure out where it needs to be there. I did last night get my pedal assemblies in here. This is the pedal assembly I'm hoping to use. It's just kind of bolted and just sitting in place. I'm hoping to be able to utilize that clutch master cylinder with this original style pedal. Now, that clutch master cylinder is the one that came out of the 92 F150 that the engine and trans came out of. So once I can get it mounted, as long as I have the geometry is the same or similar as far as it pushing in with that clutch pedal, mounting it and all that, pretty straightforward and easy. I don't know, I shouldn't say that. I don't know a lot about these trucks. Never claimed to be an expert. Like I said, this is all trial and error, but I believe getting the operation of the clutch should be okay once I get it mounted, once I get that master cylinder mounted. So got a lot of that to do today. Measuring, fitting, all that kind of stuff. Probably have to reinforce the firewall right there where that's going to bolt up. It's kind of double paneled right in here, and it's going to fall right in here somewhere. There's a stamp right there. I don't know what that's for. I might look at my other cab and see if that's popped and see if there's something going through it. But it's like a knockout kind of deal. So anyway, so clutch master cylinder, steering gearbox, got to get that figured out. Steering column, figure out what I need there because it's pretty rough and worn out. The bearing on the bottom I think is just completely gone. And then the brakes. And the brakes, I think of all this, will be the easiest because I bought that master cylinder. And it bolts to the firewall. I just have to figure out, you know, the trajectory of the rod going through and all that and how I can hook it to the original pedals. That should be fairly straightforward. I'm more worried about the clutch and the steering gearbox and all the steering arms and everything. So that's where we're at. See how it goes. And hoping this weekend is more success than error. Oh, damn, look what the FedEx guy brought me today. Oh, yes. Let's take a peek. I ain't gonna lie, folks. If you're looking full way HP108, got them from my favorite provider, Amazon. They sell them at Walmart too and other miscellaneous places, but got some good reviews, got some fair reviews, but you know what? I'm gonna try them. Rears are 315 35/20s. Fronts are 245 45/20s. I don't know, for as little as I paid for them, I think they're worth a shot. Like I said, they had some good reviews. Full way HP108, and they had my size in front and rear, so I went with it. Pulled the trigger. Probably when the wheels get in, I'll take them to Larry down at Import Masters because he's got a new tire machine, and hopefully mount them up and hopefully they balance okay. We'll know. We'll know when the wheels roll in. End of day 47. You don't argue with the sign. The sign is on. Drinking is encouraged. So, here's where we are ending the day. And I've got all kinds of excuses for why I'm ending this day, but I think it's just plain I'm tired. All right. So, test fitted and mocked up the master cylinder. Test fitted, mocked up the clutch master cylinder. Got it drilled. What I did was modded the factory clutch pedal, and I've had it mocked up, and it appears that it works. So I have it'll mount here, and I'm building a plate for the back side of it to reinforce this firewall. I'm building it out of 1/4-inch aluminum. Actually, that might be thicker than 1/4-inch aluminum. I'm not sure, but I'm doing an aluminum plate for the back side of it. So that'll help stiffen that firewall up. It will go, there's a brace in here for the, where the master cylinder, it's hard to see because it's black, but it's a brace that runs all along in here. You can see the edges of it. So that strengthens the firewall for that. So I'm going to overlap that with my aluminum brace for this clutch master cylinder, and probably over reinforce it, but that's okay. Better to do that than not. So that's kind of where we're ending today. That's where it's going to be. The plate is going to go around here, down a little bit, and then up into there. So we're good there. Kind of opened up around the transmission right there. I have to build some kind of base for the base of that shifter boot. So I don't know what I'm going to make that out of yet, but I'm going to have to get creative because it needs to be kind of flexible because it's not perfectly flat there. So I'm getting that taken care of. And believe it or not, I thought the clutch took a lot of measuring and double checking and all that to make sure that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And I hope once I get the modded up pedal in there, I hope everything does operate the way it's supposed to, because it is trial and error. Here was the bigger challenge today. Steering columns. So I put in, let me back up. I put in the power steering gearbox. This is just sitting in here. I put in the power steering gearbox. Never mind those fuel lines. So this is the power steering gearbox out of the 78 that I bought for the spindles and disc brakes for the front and stuff, all that hardware. It seemed to be probably the tightest steering box out of the 3. So I had the manual box, is what was in it, which I would have been fine with manual steering, but it measured to fit, and I've got a power steering pump, so here we go. So I got it in there and then realized that power steering and manual steering have different size, different length steering columns. So I didn't want to put, the manual steering column is damn near 2 inches longer. I didn't want to put that column with the power steering gearbox because it would bring the steering wheel out farther. It would bring the whole column out a couple inches farther. I don't want that. I want it where it was. So now I'll go back over to the steering columns, because I have the original column, which is for the manual steering. I have, and 3 on the tree. So I can smooth that off to where it just has the turn signal thing on it. I'm good with that. Except it's too long. I have another column that came with the yellow truck but was not in it. It's for an automatic, and but it is shorter. Yay, because that's probably the housing I'm going to be using. This I went and pulled out of a 76 cab that I have out back that was power steering also. It's shorter. It's pretty much the same housing as that one. You can look at the brackets and the size all measures out. It's got a little bit different bracketry at the end where it mounts to the inside of the firewall, which is fine. I could deal with that. But it also has the hazard lights in the column. It's got a totally different plug on it. I don't know. I'm going to try to shy away from this one. I'm going to attempt to rebuild and clean up this one. I'll take off all the automatic transmission stuff, or I'll switch over to the 3-entry. I don't know. I will take these 3 columns and I will make one good one. How about that? So I really want to use this steering wheel. I love those old Ford steering wheels. I think I can epoxy it, clean it up. How well it'll look for the trip, I don't know. I have another option, which was the other option that I could have used with the longer column actually too. I have this. I bought this at an auction, I don't know, 5 years ago, and it's been sitting on the shelf. It came with a box full of other stuff that I wanted. And I don't know, it's not a bad looking steering wheel. I just don't know that it fits the truck. So, and I have no hardware for it. So I'm going to have to find some hardware, make some hardware, have my friend Clint machine some hardware. I don't know if I go that route. I could use the longer column and use this wheel, as long as the adapter plate or whatever I make doesn't, end up this long. So I'm going to attempt to make the short column and use the factory wheel, just because I like it. That's what we're going to attempt and try to make work. But for now, you don't argue with the sign. So the day ends on day 47, and I feel like I got a lot accomplished, but still got a long way to go. Day 48, the end of day 48. Seems like I've been out here a majority of the day and I've accomplished little to nothing. It's just been one of those days. Nothing has gone right. I fought the columns. I fought the steering columns all day, messing with them. Probably wasted countless hours on these cobbled up messes. I thought I'd be able to take the 2 or 3 columns that I have and put together one that will work. But with none of them, with both of them being, this one being a manual shifter with the 3 on the column, this one being an automatic, I just don't think anything's going to work out the way I'd like it to. And I think it's just going to be a mess. So I'm going to have a local salvage yard around here that specializes in old Fords. I'm going to go there tomorrow and see if they have the right column that I need, which would be off of a power steering truck with a manual transmission with the shifter on the floor. It would surprise me if he doesn't have one, because he's got everything, usually. So fingers crossed that, that works out. If not, I'm going to look into an aftermarket column. I wasn't really what I wanted, but I might do that. And that way I get tilt out of it, which I would like to have too. So I can get one from Jegs. If I have, they sell them in 28-inch, 30-inch, and 32-inch length, I think. I haven't done, they do their measurements a little bit, I'm not going to say odd, but a little bit different. So I got to do some measuring to see if they're going to work. Otherwise, the day has not gone well. Let's say that. So I got the clutch master cylinder mounted. The brakes, I got that hooked up. I got everything mocked up, but just nothing seems to be working the way I'd like it to. So I got my plate. I got the plate in there, which seems like it came out all right. I got to bolt it down. My mechanism or my modification on the clutch, I don't think is strong enough. I've got the right angles and everything. I might box it in and see if I can do that. The brake setup, I did get that kind of figured out. But I was kind of hoping that by the end of the day today, I'd have that all bolted back in and wouldn't have to take it back out again. One other thing I did get done is I got the drive shaft put in, and I think I'm golden on it. I don't think I'm gonna have to have it modified at all. Larry was out And this is the drive shaft out of the 92 F150, the short bed that he's doing, that I got the engine and everything out of. So this end of this drive shaft will not bolt to this rear end out of the Lincoln. So I was thinking I'd just have to go find the right flange for the end of the drive shaft that would fit this rear end. And I thought, okay, 8.8 out of a Lincoln, probably I could probably find one out of a Mustang and maybe get that to work. And as I was talking to Larry about it, he has this, the piece that bolts to the snout. He has that off of his truck, and it's not being used. He's got it on another rear end right now. So I think I'm going to yank this rear end back out, and I'm actually going to take it down to his shop. He's going to install that, a new crush setup there, the new seal, and maybe do the axle seals as well. I'm not sure. And then when I bring it back, I will be ready to bolt the thing in and for the last time, and set the pinion angle and stuff. So it's just clamped right there right now. There's a set of vice grips kind of holding it so it doesn't fall out on the other side. So I mean, that was a positive, but again, hoping to, I guess it's because I didn't finalize anything today, really, is why it feels like such a failure. Between that stuff and this, I just have a whole bunch of stuff undone, and I still have no column. So that's where we ended. And that is where we end today, because I refuse to stay out here anymore and get nothing done. So day 48 in the books, and hope we have a better day 49 and 50 and through the 50s, because we're damn near halfway through, and I would say, looking at this truck, it is not halfway done. So there is still a lot of work to do on this truck, a lot. But like I was telling Larry, a couple other people today, this stuff, brakes, steering, clutch, this is not my comfort zone. This is not stuff I do all the time. This is not stuff, I'm just not experienced enough at it. So when it comes to the bodywork, when it's time to thrash and get the bodywork done on this, yeah, I'll be up for 4 days and get it done, and no problems. I'm looking forward to those days, because those days will go fast. These days do not go fast. Day 48, over.